WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from an independent online shop, which has turned also into independent bottler. It's basically their own store collection, one of 5. Fallen Angels, a Secret Speyside. So this is batch number 1. It says single malt whiskey. Very interesting. The word Scotch is nowhere on here. I'll explain that in a moment. So batch number 1, it is a single cask. It is a Jamaican rum cask finish. And we had 118 days of that finishing. Ooh. So, and it's one of 324 bottles from Whic GmbH. That is a limited over here in Germany, and they're actually in Bremen. 62.2%, 69 euros and 99 cents. Whiskybase number 206763. Sold out within hours. Now it's on the Whiskybase for double, almost, even triple the price. So the prices go between $162 and $195 at the moment. So this is something people wanted. I was lucky enough that I actually received an email. I'm on their newsletter, and I opened the letter, and I actually went, oh, wait a second. Hey, that looks interesting. And it was click, 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 and bought it. So what am I going to compare it to? I'm going to compare it to something here that I have. I actually wanted to compare it to something that was here. I'll just show you this little thing here. This is what I wanted to compare it to originally. This is a rum cask whiskey. Do you see a little bit of a difference here? Yes, you do. So what's the problem? When I first read this, I read rum cask finish. And I was like, okay, they're a little dark for rum cask, but why not? And then I started really reading, and then I found out it was a sherry cask matured whiskey that is rum cask finished. Question of the day, number 1. What other whiskeys do you know that have a sherry cask maturation and a rum cask finish? I don't know of any. Do you know of any? Do you know of any that actually have the sherry and the rum finish? I don't. And the second thing I don't know is they're praising their Jamaican rum casks. I know almost nothing about rum. I don't know. Tell me, please, in the chat. Jamaican rum. High class, mid class, low class. I've heard of Caribbean rum, I've heard of Cuban rum, I've heard of South American rum, but Jamaican rum is something I remember from history, but I don't know anything about 2022 of how high up on the scale Jamaican rum is. All right, so what Whic is going to do, this online retailer, is they're going to have 5 whiskeys from all over the world that are actually just outside of the normal box of whiskey. Think outside the box. So they're actually going to blow through typical normal conventions. And they all have received in Germany a special finishing. And that's why the word Scotch will be nowhere on this bottle to be found. This is not a Scotch. A Scotch has to be made in Scotland and bottled in Scotland. This was made in Scotland. It's a Speyside. So it says here, Secret Speyside. Speyside is not a protected geographical indicator according to the Scotch Whisky Association for Whiskies, especially since it was made there. There is no rule that says it has to be bottled in a Speyside to be called a Speyside whiskey. It has to be made there, but not bottled. And so what they did is they took single malt from Scotland, brought it over to Germany. They don't bring it over in casks, they bring it over in totes. A tote is a 1,000 liter, so 1 ton big plastic container. And it weighs a ton, and you can actually do things very, very nicely with that. And then you bring it over here, you pump it into a finishing cask, and then you fill it up over here in Germany. Which sometimes might be easier at the moment than it is due to Brexit, than to have your whiskeys actually bottled and then sent over to Germany. Totes are sometimes easier to transport, especially if you can fill up your own container with them, than just have individual pallets being sent over from Scotland here to Germany. So there are going to be 5 different cask experiments here, and the first one was our Fallen Angel batch number 1. So if you look here, you have an angel and she's fallen and oh, isn't she pretty and so on. All right, so some people bought it for the label. Some people bought it for the darkness of the color. Some people bought it because of the price, $69.99. For 62.2% is not bad, but there is no age statement. So I'm going to guess 6-7 years. This is not an old whiskey. This is an 8-year-old product, and it's 55.9. So we took sherry. We took whiskey that was maturing in sherry. Then we put it into a first fill muscatel sherry octave cask. We have here 90 bottles we got from that cask. Excellent stuff. I love muscatel. Oh yeah, muscatel sherry is one of my favorites. Even here you can see this is darker than that. Now, why did I pick this bottle? I have some from Glenmorangie. I have some others that my friend Tom at TNT Casks in Germany have done. I think this might actually be a Glenrothes. It has a little bit of that spicy orange peel type of chocolate moment. All right, I might be totally wrong, but hey, Glenrothes is in the Speyside, and I know Glenrothes has had some stock on the market that is about 8 years old, so maybe the people in Germany here, Vic, and his name is Anna, who is the owner and the founder of Vic, he might have got his hands in the same casks or the same type of things that Tom also got over here in Germany. I love this nose. This nose is dark, dark sherry. Now, my problem is they keep on talking about that 1,018 days of the Jamaican rum cask finishing. I don't get it. I do not get the rum cask finish. It's just not there for me. Now, rum cask is going to be, strong cork, is going to be sweet. Now, sherry originally is sweet itself. So why do I need to put a rum cask finish on a sherry product? I don't know. But on the nose, it does taste, it does smell really, really delicious. I have like a perfect cinnamon bun without the cinnamon. Yeah, it's a cinnamon bun with the cinnamon. It's just very, very lightly, but you have that glazed frosting. You have the dough, that sourdough moment, that fluffy dough. A little bit of a chocolate moment on here. Tiny little bit of caramel. And then you have some red berries going on here. No, I just can't pick out that rum finish. Sorry. On the nose, this is better. I like this much better. It's a very, very excellent nose. This on the nose is a little bit more of a... It's more of a mocha nougat moment. There's a little bit of that, a little bit darker chocolate going on here. And a tiny, tiny little bit of the, I was going to say burnt caramel, but it's not burnt. It's caramel with tannins. It's a wood-soaked caramel moment. There's a lot more wood going on here than here. Crazy color, natural color, non-chilled filtered. That stuff's got some crazy, crazy coloring going on here. Or color, not coloring. Cheers. It's good, but it's hot. It's two types of hot. One, there's an alcohol heat here of having youth. And second of all, there's a type of pepper. More of the salt and pepper, that pepper type of moment. Not the hot chili pepper, but the pepper moment going on here. That also continues on. So the one dissipates a little bit and the other keeps on going. That pepper moment keeps on going a little bit. There is that orange peel in there. There is a little bit of chocolate in there. There's a lot of sherry going on here. Where's the rum? Am I rum blind? Maybe I am. So what I'm going to do, it is 62.2% ABV. I'm going to actually add about the same amount of water as I do have for the whiskey. So that should still be way above 43%. I'm thinking somewhere around of the rules, around 48% here is where I should be at, all right? On the nose, I get a little bit more of a normal type of, not over sweetness. A little bit of the tannins are there. A little bit of that milk chocolate is still there. A tiny little bit of the sherry is still there. Very, very, very acceptable. Very nice, actually. Interesting enough, the heat is still there. I added as much water as I had whiskey, and the heat is still there. There's still an incredible amount. For me, astonishing. I don't know, incredible. It's astonishing. An astonishing amount of heat is still there. It's still that alcohol heat at the youth. That's why I'm going to say this is probably 6, 7 max years old. The pepper has been dissipated a little bit. It's reduced. It's got that fruity, nice sherry moment. It's a good whiskey. This is a C+ whiskey in my books. The nose is a B-. I love the nose. The whiskey is a little bit too hot for my liking. If I had been able to turn the screws and adjust everything and make this whiskey perfect, it would have had much less heat. But water doesn't seem to dissipate that heat that much. Some people like the heat. I can't take the heat. Value for money. Now, when I started my channel in 2016, over 6 years ago, I would have said, am I crazy to pay 70 euros? So $85 for a bottle of whiskey like this. No age statement. But then today I'm going like, yes, I would. I would buy another bottle of this, maybe. I'm not going to buy the batch 1 again. I've had that, but there's going to be batch 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, my biggest problem is they actually send out a newsletter as soon as it's online. And sometimes it's often Sunday morning. I'm doing something else often Sunday morning. I don't look at my mailbox until maybe Sunday afternoon. I will be traveling a lot in the next couple months, catching up on many of the trips I've missed to Ireland, to Scotland, to the USA, and so on. Even within Germany, I'm going to be traveling. And so I'm not always on the computer screen like I used to be. So the chances of me missing at least one, if not all 4 of the next fallen batches is more than likely. So I'll see what I can do for you here. But I do like what they're doing. I do like them that they're actually breaking through conventions. They're doing something totally new. And this is a very, very interesting whiskey. So be careful if you ever have a bottle of whiskey that says single malt whiskey on it. It can be from anywhere in the world. It can be from Germany. It can be from France. It can be from Japan. It can even be from America. But if it says single malt Scotch whiskey, it can only be bottled in Scotland. It has to leave. Okay, if it's single malt Scotch, it has to leave Scotland. If it just says Scotch whiskey on it, it could have been bottled someplace else. Sorry about those dumb rules there. I didn't make them. I just can explain them. Single malt can only leave Scotland in a bottle. Blended malt Scotch can only leave. I'm not sure about that one. I think they can only leave also Scotland in a bottle. But as soon as you get to blended Scotch, it can leave the country in a tote or a container ship. Cargo 40,000 liter container type of tank, container tank, whatever it's called, and then be bottled at the location that it's sent to. Australia, Taiwan, USA, Brazil, South Africa, wherever. So, and 90% of all whiskey that's made in Scotland is blended Scotch. So less than 10% of all whiskey in Scotland has to be bottled in Scotland. Bet you didn't think about that now, did you? All right. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for liking. Thank you very much for subscribing. Please remember to write down 3 things here. First one, what are the whiskeys do you know that have sherry maturation and a rum finish? Would be interesting. Second thing, in the rankings of rums, where is Jamaica? I don't know. And third and not last, what online shops do you know of? Probably going to be in England. In America, I don't think so. Maybe some Benny's does that. Yeah, you're right. Benny's has an online shop as well. And also local shop as well. what other shops online and so on have their own bottling series. Not just a store pick, their own series. They actually maybe finish the whiskeys themselves. That'd be an interesting one to know. WIC is what we say over here. They do it. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your subscriptions and for your telling and sharing of this crazy American and all this content going on over here in English, as well as in German on my German YouTube channel. Bye-bye. See you soon.